Hello, YouTube friends. Um, I I had started to varnish this baby that is a custom for a friend. It is the open eye Levi. Um, but I've already varnished the head because I thought it was on and it was not on. So anyway, the head is varnished and I will continue to complete the arms and the legs. So what I was saying was, I'm a left-hander, and um, I've always been told I was the wrong-handed. That's what people used to say. Oh, he's that wrong-handed child. But and then sometimes I thought I was wrong-handed. Um, but that was just what people said. I didn't. I write the same way a right-hand person does. I write with my paper slanted this way, their paper slanted that way, you know. Um, but I do know that when I was a child learning to write on paper and write my name and all that, I used to start off with my name on this side going this way. And right hand people write from this side going that way. So it took a minute for me to understand why I couldn't do what I'm doing when they did what they did. So my mom said, it's just the way it is. You cannot write from that side of the paper. You have to write from the right hand side of the paper. Well, I thought because I was left handed that I did the opposite of that since I was left handed. And of course, that was not true. That's not the way it goes, actually. So therefore, I had to learn how to write from the right side. But I don't curve my hand around and I don't turn my paper upside down. I write just like a right-handed person and actually have a pretty nice handwriting. And so um better, and then I broke my arm. The arm I write with. I broke it and I had to count money every day. This was when I was working. I'm a retiree at this point. Um, so, but when I was working, I missed that year. I missed 4 days from work that whole year. I broke my arm. I came in and worked. I counted money. My my drawers was um, balanced every day. Um, and I did it all with one hand. I trained myself, which I had been training myself all ever since I've been learning to write right-handed anyway. And so I had to use that handwriting and right-handed when that happened. And people would come in and watch me and just be astonished as how I was doing that. How are you doing that? Um, how are you doing that? Anyway, I got it done. I got it done. It was not a great task. I mean, I already knew how to write right-handed. It's not as pretty as my left hand writing, but it's legible and you can and look better than some right hand's original handwriting. So but I got through that. Of course, later on in years, well, no, that was actually before that, I had hurt my back. And that's why I had to do that sit down job because I couldn't do a stand up job anymore. And so, but I made it through my working years, and it's been okay since I've been retired. I'm not wanted for anything. It's been okay. I have two children. Yeah, I'm going to say children, but very grown children. Very, very grown children. I have a 50-year-old in the coming up in November, and I will have a 47-year-old coming up in October next month. So I don't have any grandbabies, and that's when I mostly turn to my babies when I want to feel loved. I know, I'm sorry. I feel loved. When I want to give love and my babies are not around, my children, my real children, are not around, then I want to turn to a baby because they didn't have any and they don't intend to. And so, therefore, um, I have to have some babies around me. I gotta, because I can't spoil them. It's only so much spoiling you can do to an adult, um, an adult child. So I got to have somebody to spoil. So this is my intentions on. Let me get something else to pounce this hand out. This is my intentions in spoiling. I said I'll make babies. Now I know how to make babies. I only have two real children, but I know how to make babies. And we will get them babies made and we will spoil them. I love spoiling them. I don't like how that brush put those marks on there. I could see those marks. Now, I can't see them. Can you? Can you see them? I can't see them. But I love this hand. He has some unique features, and his feet are the just gorgeous. I love how they curl. I love his little curly feet. But yes, I have a friend and that I met eh, on YouTube in the Dolly world, and she and I have become friends. And so I am making a custom baby for her. Um, I had a baby that this same baby in my collection, um, but I just don't know if I can depart with that baby. So I am making her a baby, and because I just don't think that I can depart with him. His name is Russell, and I love him. I have loved him since I made him. I talk to him more than I talk to any other baby that I have, and she wants him. Um, we're going to do. She has another one of my babies. We did a trade, and we did a trade for another doll, which I'll show that doll later on. And this time it's for some clothes. So um, by the time she starts to send me these clothes, I will have him ready. And he will be a priority. And so I will have him ready. Excuse me. I think I'm getting pretty good to just have started doing this in May. Um, what is that? May, June, July, August, September. 4 months? Keep thinking that it's more than that, but it's just 4 months. And I take my babies out. I make soap as well. And I take my babies to the market with me. And people just go all out, all over for these babies. And especially, especially little girls. um, they just go all over for these babies. So, anyway, I just uh, decided this is what I really want to do. I really want to do it more than I want to make soap. I've been making soap since 2009. And so I thought that I was getting burnt out of making soap. But every time I say that, or um, God puts me, just put customers in my face where I cannot stop making soap. But I'm going to varnish him today, and I guess we're going to make soap tomorrow. And I don't have um, a market to go to this weekend, but October, I have several markets in October to go to. So I need to take this time to kind of get caught up on some soap. Um, and my website is Just Soaps, y'all. So if anybody have heard of Just Soaps, y'all, um, if I have any Just Soaps, y'all customers looking at my site, please let me know. Um, because I enjoy my customers. I love my customers. I enjoy them more than they know I do, but I enjoy my customers. They are so sweet to me, and I to them. But my customers, I love my customers. Point blank, point blank. But I will varnish these babies. And oh, yeah, please hit my subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Hit my like button and comment and tell me what you like about my videos, or ask me a question about something that I can help you with. I don't mind talking about golden paints. I simply love golden paints. I was looking at a expert in doll restoration, and um she did a test to see what was the best paint to use on doll vinyl, since she restores the Brat doll, and she takes the face off the Brat doll and puts it back on, um, with a different face, different hair, all that, changes the clothes out. She just makes the Brat doll a whole different doll. And so she did this test with these other um, colors, other brands, and Golden won. So if she's an expert, and she says she's been doing it for 20, 30 years now, and if she's been doing it that long and I just started doing it, well, I started making babies, yeah, in May. So if I just started making babies and she's been doing it that long. She's a good person to follow after. And so, since I was already using golden paints, then I knew that I was on the um, track with golden paints. Golden paints stay on. Um, After a few days, them being on the baby, they kind of adhere to the vinyl, and you can come back and wipe it, and the vinyl, and it won't come off. Um, the paint won't come off. So, I mean, when I first started, I didn't know where to start, and I was using folk art. But I did not. I don't think I made a baby with folk art because right after that, I run into video a woman, a lady at doing um, babies with golden, and I thought I want to change to golden. I think that's a better because folk art is a craft paint, and I want something that's a little bit more professional kinda, and so that's what I did. I just changed over and went to golden. So, okay, that's kind of, like I said, these little twisted feet. And this is not my original rack that I use either. But anyway, I think I'm going to give him two coats. Shoot, that don't go in there. Wrong brush. And then I will let it dry, and probably tomorrow I will do another video, and we will start to put some paint on this baby. I don't know. Paint is not the first thing I do. I usually do my undertones. Then I do my veining. Then I do my mottling. Um, and that's just what I do with all of my babies to give them that depth, um, that skin depth. They have to have that so that the skin don't look flat. But I will show you in a video. I will make a video of my dolls that I have already done. Um, and you can see their skin turned out so pretty. So pretty. So, but I will make a video and show you what babies I have left in my um, left left in my collection, and also show you the baby that I just cannot give up. It's gonna hurt her feelings because I just can't give him up. And see, she's looking for something that she wants right now. So, but I don't know if I can't part with him right now. I'm having a hard time. I made him. My mom passed in June of this year, and her sister passed 3 days after her. So June 2nd, my mom passed, and June 5th, my aunt passed. And it's been hard. It's been real hard. I took care of my mom a lot. She stayed with my sister, but I would go over every Wednesday because my sister had to go into the office on Wednesday on her job, and so I went to my mom, over to my sister's, to take care of my mom every Wednesday. Wednesday was her day, and she would go to the doctors, or she would go shopping, or wherever she wanted to go. That's what we did. And so um, I thought that me giving her that time, that it would be okay. She was 93 at that particular time. And when she turned 94, the day she turned 94, she was ready to go to the hospital. And we didn't quite understand. She had a doctor's appointment coming up um, within that week, like that next Wednesday. Um, and we didn't understand why she wanted to go to the hospital. And she was more or less really wanting to go to the hospital. So, but we talked her out of it until her doctor's appointment came up, and to then we went to the doctor's appointment, and we told him by then she couldn't walk. Um, she was having problems walking, and they always say that when you getting ready to leave this earth. And now I kind of believe that because she was so adamant about going to going to the hospital. She was just so adamant, and she had always told me, "I don't want to die at home. I would rather die in the hospital, where I know I could get the help I needed. If I needed help, I know I could get it there." And it just on her 94th birthday, and she really wanted to go to the hospital. She was ill and she wasn't really moving around, and she had been in bed a lot, and it got to the point where she was struggling to walk. And even with her walker, she was struggling to walk. And so she sat at the table, and we all, mm, I can't remember if we played Pacino or not. That's our game, family game. And I can't remember if we played that or not. But anyway, she sat at the table, and we had my cousins came over. And so anyway, we got her back to her bed. And it gets hard to talk about her, guys. I'm sorry. But we got her back to her bed, and we had to call my brother the day that she went to the doctors. We had to call my brother to help get her to the car. And so anyway, when we got to the hospital, we got a wheelchair and rolled her up to the doctor's office. And he immediately put her in the hospital, and they checked her legs out and found out that she needed to have an I think it's called angioplasty, where they go through your groin and they open up your veins so that blood can flow. Well, she went in to have that surgery, and she went in on the 24th of April. Her birthday was on the 16th, and she went in on the 24th of April and to have that surgery. And She stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks. They actually could not do the surgery because her arteries from her top of her knees, right above her knees, was clogged. And so they couldn't do the surgery. But that meant that she was not getting any blood in her lower extremities. And so that was a blow because we already knew what was getting ready to happen. So, anyway, she didn't get to come home until the 29th from the hospital. And we had to make a decision on either sending her to a nursing home or bringing her home. And they didn't want to. Um, they didn't want to put her near us. It was anywhere in our state. So um, we just said no. We'll bring her home. She'll be much happier here. And she was. She was so glad that we didn't throw her away in a nursing home, because see, nobody would be able to get to her if they put her way out, and nobody was going to be able to get to her. So she was happy to be at home, and that's why she passed. She passed at home. But she passed June, so she lived another month. And but soon as she came home from the hospital, hospice was right there, and they kind of gave us some little booklets to let us know what step she was in, um, because that was important for us to know what steps she would be, taking. So anyway, I leave and go home, come home, and she was breathing fine. And the next day, she was breathing kind of funny, um, like a fish out of water. And usually, when they breathe like that, that is the last day. So we didn't exactly know what was actually getting ready to happen until one of the nurses came in. Well, we hadn't heard from the regular doctors, the regular nurses at all that day. But then when one of the weekend nurses came in, she explained to us in the book, it said that when they start to breathe like a fish out of water, that they only had minutes to go. It was just a matter of time then. And so we just really just kept going in the room and holding her hand and telling her we loved her, which she was in a coma. She wasn't able to speak or say anything to us, and we couldn't wake her up either. Um, so uh, my other sisters left out of the room, and they were headed back into the room when I never left. I just went to the end of the bed and just was leaning on the bed and just watching her breathe, just watching her. And then all of a sudden she stopped. And I told my sisters that our mother has just left us. So it was devastating to me when I really realized that she really had gone. When I said those words, it wasn't that I really meant those words, but it was actually the truth. She really had gone. And so I was sad. I was real sad. Um, that's when I kind of broke down because I was really, really sad. I was really hoping that we was trying to feel a heartbeat, but the doctors that came in had told us that they didn't feel a heartbeat, and so her pulse. I'll say her pulse. They didn't feel a pulse, so that just meant that she was getting closer um, to leaving, and which didn't register either to me because it just didn't register. But anyway, the lady left. And she told us everything. She took her pulse. She did what she needed to do, and she left. And she didn't get anywhere hardly before we was calling her back and telling her that we felt that she had gone. And so she came back and pronounced her dead and cleaned her up to get her ready for the funeral home to pick her up. It's been hard. It's really been hard. I tell you, if you got somebody in your life that you love, um, please, 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 please give them that love. Because I tell you, that has been the hardest. I really felt like that me spending time, I used to tell all the time, well, I'm getting my time in now. I'm going to spend all the time with you I can spend while you here because I just really want you to be here. And I said, because I'm going to be all right when you're gone. And then that was far from the truth. I didn't realize the impact that it was going to cause. And today I'm still grieving. It's still a grieving point to me because we had her cremated and it was her, that was what she wanted. And we had her cremated and we had some jewelry made and the place had something to go wrong with their equipment or whatever, and so it took a while for us to get this stuff back. And so we picked it up, and when we picked it up and I brought it home, it was okay. But the next day, I just wasn't there. It just hit me like a brick. This is final. See, at first, we would say, oh, it's just like she's on vacation. She'll be home soon. My sister has even said, I thought about calling you to tell you that you need to call mama. Wow. And, have you talked to mama today? No, I haven't talked to her. But it's okay. It's okay. We all got to go that path. We all got to go down that path. That we all got to do. So it's okay. It's okay. I'm getting there. I'm not crying as much as I used to, though. I'm getting to be a big girl about the situation. But I tell you guys, if you still have your mom, cherish her. It's hard. It really is hard. I have to show you guys my babies. I am so proud of my babies. I just wonder where I'm going to be in the next 5 years or in the next year, as a matter of fact, with these babies. Um, because I feel like that I am really doing a good job on them. Um, so I really feel like that um, I'll do even better, and I'm sure I will. And practice makes perfect, and I strive for perfect. I really do. But I'm going to be making authentic, and I'm going to buy some authentic. Well, I have three Bountiful baby kits, and I'm going to be making authentic babies, and also I'm going to be making replica kits because I feel that just because you cannot afford an expensive doll does not mean that you cannot afford a pretty doll. So everybody gets the same paint job here. You're going to get the same treatment as if you paid a lot of money for this baby. I just love giving people my work, letting people have my work. I love making soap for people um, to sell because people get to use my soap and and that makes me me feel really good when people are using my soap and come back and tell me that my soap is so moisturizing, that it really is a good soap. I love it. I want to always use your soap, and all these things about the soap just thrills me. But I've been doing it since 2009, so by now, what is that, 15, 16 years? By now I should know something about it. Um, I've been out here selling and doing different events and stuff. So I sure think that I know something about my soaps. Also, my soaps don't you don't get a lot of soap scum with my soaps, and so that's what I love about them because that what comes off of you rolls right on down the drain. It does not. I mean, I'm sure that something sticks to the tub, something, but it's not really dirty. I mean, if it is, you are just whew, that's all I gotta say on that. But and eventually you need to wash your tub out. But you can get away with showering 2 or 3 times before washing the tub out. Not having to wash it out after each bath, but you can wash it out after every 2 or 3 baths or 3 or 4 baths, because it's just that good. Like people use shower gels because it does not. Um, you don't have soap scum. Well, that's the way mine is. My soaps are just a shower gel in a bar. That's all. That's what I call them. Shower gels in a bar. I know this video is running kind of long. I have one more hand to do, and I will be done. But let me tell you about the giveaways. We're gonna have some giveaways, guys. We're gonna have some little fun on this channel. I love giving away. I love giving away. And so I have said that my first giveaway was going to be at $250. How about I try to give away something small for the baby in a month, in at 100 subscribers? Why can't I do that? Then at 300, we would give away something else. At 500, we would give away a baby. And then we won't be giving away another baby or another something until 700. And then 1,000, we would give away another baby. 1,500, we would give away another baby. 2,000, we would give away another baby. See, it's going to go like that. But in between, I'm going to make sure that you stay attentive, that you are going to be happy to be on my site, be on my in my channel, on my in my group, or in my little family, my baby family. So because I'm going to find something to give away. It's going to be something to give away, and it's going to be something useful for your baby. And just like I said, everything that's for these babies are for a human baby. So if you got some plans to go to a baby shower or something and you win a gift, you don't have a way to use it, you can always save it for a baby shower gift because it's going to be usable. Now, I have just learned how to paint the whole limb before, and that's what my stuff does. My stuff lets me paint the whole limb unless I make it too thick. If it's too thick, it's not going to paint. It's going to streak. Um, but as long as it's not too thick, it will. I can paint just like I'm painting oil paints. Um, and that's why I love golden. I love golden. I think I will always use golden because until I find something that's even better than golden, and right now I'm not really looking for anything better than golden because I'm sure that there's something that I don't know about golden. So let's see, we're coming to the end of this video. Because this is my last hand to do. My last limb. This is a nice little kit. I'm going to have to see if I can find another one. I just like the size of this baby. I'm just so pretty. And I love the size of him. I am going to make a video and, like I said, and show you guys some of the babies that I have made, and um, show you probably uh, some of the things that I intend to do, or I don't know. I have to get it together. I want to do so much. Now that I have a channel, I want to do so much. Okay. All right, ladies and gents. That is fun. The way I prime my kit to get it ready for my paints. And I am still new at the game, so I'm always having to look at something to see something. I'm always having to look at, um, I bought several little, I bought several little, excuse me, boy. I bought several little, um, what am I trying to say? Are you off? I bought several little, I lost my train of thought, you guys. I'm so sorry. But anyway, please like, subscribe, and share my videos because I need you guys' help in getting me to 100. So therefore, I can give away something to you all. And it's only going to be for my subscribers and for the US. I don't know how to ship out of the country, so it'll be for US only. Um, anybody that um, anybody that goes that participates out of the United States will have to pay their own shipping. I cannot afford that. Because of the tariffs and all of that, and everything is so high. I just cannot afford that right now. So, but and those in the United States, I got you. I got you. Um, um, but if you just help me out in getting to these points so that I can give away a baby, that's what I want to do. Is give you a beautiful baby, a nicely made, beautiful baby. And I'm sure you will be happy with in your collection. And if not, you can pass it on to somebody else's collection. It's whatever you want to do. It should be your baby. But anyway, thank you all for being here today, watching me do what I do, watching me do what I love to do. Thank you so much. Um, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.